Welcome to your daily dose of hope. I'm Phyllis Nichols, and I'm glad you're here. Today, I want to talk a little bit about minimalism and how it's really made me more hopeful. I've been checking out a lot of information about minimalism as a lifestyle. It appeals to me in a lot of ways, especially about making things easier, right? One of the minimalists that I follow, her work has been really helpful to me. She talks about being clear about the season of life that you're in today and organizing your life and all kinds and all manners of things, right, to suit that particular season. Her example would be keeping things that don't fit this season. It's not thrifty or helpful. In fact, it's often the opposite. It keeps us looking back or planning for a part of life that isn't even here anymore. Not to mention the work and the energy, and even sometimes the cost of managing and storing things that we have that we don't use. Minimalism isn't about less for the sake of less. It's about making room for what matters and for who you're becoming. And that's why it gives me hope, because it creates clarity and then that gives you possibilities. When the noise drops, when the anxiety is lower, when there's less to manage and handle, you can finally hear your next step or your next thought or pay attention to the little nudges that you're getting intuitively. Also, agency beats overwhelm. I think a lot of us have maybe felt like at times that, like our life is sort of managing us instead of us managing life. So when we can choose to simplify by choosing maybe what stays and what goes, that can be physically or metaphorically, it just reminds you you're in charge. You do get to make those choices. Another nice thing is that margin, creating space, isn't a void, it's capacity. It gives us more time, more energy, more attention to spend on the things that are really important to you or the things that light you up. And look, that changes over time. And it could be that there are things that you have that you loved and that served you very well. And there's nothing wrong with those things or with the people in your life, but you're just in a different space now. And acknowledging that gives you room to move into something new. Another nice thing about minimalizing, and she talks about this a lot, is just being truly grateful for what you have. She is an artist and she's like had stacks and stacks of art projects and things that she had done. Her parents had even kept a bunch of stuff when she was in, middle school and high school. She had a bunch of college stuff and even some things she did from work. And she said, I chose to get rid of almost all of it. I have pictures of it. I have memories. I have ways that I can remember those things. And I feel really grateful, but they're not something I need to keep and manage and maintain and store. They're a part of me and they're never going to go away. And I love that idea. Progress also feels doable if we can streamline something in our life or minimize what we're having to manage and take care of, then we have more options in our day. And it's also just kinder to the future version of us, right? If we have less to deal with and manage today, we're going to have more time to do something else that we enjoy. Minimalism isn't deprivation. It's a vote of confidence that you already have enough and you are enough to build what's next. Today, you could just try clearing some things out. Maybe it's just one drawer, or maybe it's a bunch of stuff on your laptop. Maybe it's just saying no to something that no longer fits. Notice how it makes you feel, because minimalism isn't less life. It's just making more room for the good stuff. This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.